Blaming others for one's own sins, such an act should never be tolerated. If there were ever someone who did such a thing, surely divine retribution would follow. My name is Michelle. I'm part of a family of 3 with my husband Spencer and our son who just started kindergarten this year. Both Spencer and I have jobs, so we get help with our son from my parents who live nearby. Kindergarten is different from daycare. They don't look after kids, so we rely on my parents to take care of our son after he gets out. I've always loved my parents, but my father's business, which he ran himself, was a bit of a worry for me. I have a younger brother, Carl, who's 4 years younger than me. When I was in the 3rd grade and Carl was in his final year of kindergarten, there was a bit of a stir when my father's business became known at the kindergarten. The story even spread to my elementary school, and friends who I thought were close suddenly turned cold. My father ran a construction company that did city repairs, and he always said he was doing things for the benefit of others. I thought my father was a respectable man, so I couldn't understand why his work was such a topic, or rather, a problem. Carl sensed the change around him and came crying to me, but I couldn't give him a clear answer and was troubled myself. My father employed and rehabilitated young people who had fallen out of society, so our house, which was also a dormitory for his company's employees, had quite a few rowdy people. Maybe that gave the wrong impression to people outside. I guessed this and tried to clear up the misunderstanding with my friends, but things didn't go well, and I ended up isolated in my class. That's when Spencer, a childhood friend, helped me out. Spencer and I had known each other since before kindergarten because of the relationship between his father and mine. Spencer, who was in the same class, stood up for me and patiently explained to our classmates, "Mr. Corleone is a respectable man, and everyone working for him is good-hearted. Despite how they might look, seriously, people don't know anything." Spencer, who had been to my house and knew the situation well, said this angrily. I trusted Spencer a lot and thought of him as a very important friend. Carl looked up to Spencer like a brother. I wanted to keep my relationship with Spencer close, and indeed, our interaction continued until we graduated from college. Spencer studied business administration in college and got a job at a consulting firm that supports company management. Seeing my father helping young people by giving them jobs, I became interested in doing the same and got a job at a recruitment agency. After graduation, we were busy getting used to our jobs and gaining work experience, and we only talked over the phone or through messages at the change of seasons. But 3 years later, Spencer's consulting firm started supporting my father's company, and Spencer became the person in charge. "Long time, Michelle. Maybe there's some kind of fate, being able to support Mr. Corleone's company." "You've become quite the accomplished consultant, Spencer." Spencer blushed and said he still had a long way to go, but the 3 years we hadn't seen each other felt like nothing, and we were just like old times. Carl, too, blushed and was happy to see Spencer again after a long time. "Good to see you again," he said, smiling shyly. Of course, Spencer had other clients and was busy every day, and I was promoted to head a new division at the recruitment agency, doubling my workload. But we wanted to make up for time we couldn't see each other, and started spending time together whenever we could. Is this a date? We're not really dating, just best friends, I thought to myself calmly. Then one day, at a theme park we'd always wanted to go to, in a spot with a great view of the park's iconic castle, Spencer said, "We've known each other for a long time, Michelle, but I want to be with you forever and ever. Will you consider marrying me?" Surprised by his sudden proposal without even officially dating, I saw Spencer scratching his head. "I can't imagine being with anyone but you in the future, Spencer. Let's keep this up." And so we went from childhood friends to husband and wife. Our fathers, who were friends, knew us well, and when we announced our engagement, they were overjoyed. Carl was thrilled too, saying, "You're really becoming my big brother?" Our marriage was blessed by everyone around us. We continued working after getting married, leading fulfilling lives both personally and professionally. It took a while due to our busy schedules, but 3 years after marriage, I received a gift from the Cabbage Patch. My parents, in-laws, and Carl were thrilled, all shouting, "Yay!" together, making me chuckle. I I gave birth to our son and became a rookie mom. Spencer, now a rookie dad, and I struggled together with parenting. Even with the support from my parents and in-laws, watching our child grow up every day was nothing but happiness. When my son started kindergarten, my world as a mother expanded. I began interacting with other moms whose kids attended the same kindergarten. These mom friends became a natural part of my life, and interacting with various moms was stimulating and enjoyable. However, in every group, there's always someone who's a bit different, and in my circle of moms, there was one who stood out. She was someone you need extra effort to get along with, the kind of person you label as troublesome. Her name was Natalie, a 22-year-old mother with a son the same age as mine, meaning she had him at 18. I don't distance myself from her for being a young mother, but for other reasons. Natalie, despite being a young mother, seemed to idolize or even claim to be a troubled youth. She dressed flamboyantly, with pink hair and excessive jewelry on her neck, wrists, and fingers. Her language was far from what you'd expect from an adult, more like a high school girl, and not in a good way. Her speech mixed crude expressions with a forced cuteness, which was tiring to listen to. "Hey, you know the cafe near the station? It's awful, expensive, and the service is bad. I gave a waitress there a piece of my mind, and she was shaking. I have the same name as that singer you know, but I sing way better. The world is so stupid for not making me famous." It was unclear if she was trying to brag about her exploits or show off her abilities, but her conversations were always one-sided and disorganized. I just nodded along, but of course, I didn't take her seriously. She was the last person I wanted to deal with. But our kids got along well, so I had no choice but to interact with her. There was a sports day at the kindergarten on a Sunday in May, but Spencer couldn't attend due to an unavoidable work commitment.
"Sorry, I'm really sad I can't be there, but don't be upset, okay? I promise I'll definitely go next year."
I reassured Spencer, who was almost in tears, saying it was unfortunate but understandable. "Sure, it's a shame, but it's work. I'm sure he'll understand. We'll go together next year." Spencer looked so disappointed. It was like consoling a child throwing a tantrum. On the day of the sports festival, the weather was perfect. I went there with a video camera and a DSLR with a telephoto lens, determined to record everything for Spencer. The schoolyard was bustling with parents watching their children. Just as the excitement was peaking after the principal's speech, I heard Natalie's unmistakable voice. "Such nice weather, and yet everyone's here. Well, we're here too, I guess." As I was thinking she shouldn't have bothered coming, I noticed a loud man's voice.
"Right. On a day like this, the racetrack would be a better choice. But well, gotta do it for the kids."
A man about Natalie's age, dressed as flamboyant as she was, started talking to me, checking me out. Natalie introduced him as her husband, Cody, but Cody just said,
"Yo,"
and kept eyeing me. These two were clearly a match, both in appearance and attitude. Cody's long, red-dyed hair, low-slung jeans, and the extreme distressing on his jeans made them look almost torn apart. He wore skull rings and a long keychain. Their attitudes and words didn't fit that of adults and parents.
"Nice camera and video equipment. You must be rich, huh? Cool."
He was too familiar for a first meeting and almost touched my camera, so I stepped back. "No, I'm just putting extra effort into recording this for Spencer, who couldn't make it today." "I wish I had gear like that."
"Leave it to me. I'll hit big soon, and I'll buy you anything."
As they got lost in their own world, I took the opportunity to walk away. The next program is my son's dance, so I have to be on standby, so I don't have time to worry about these two. I had to get ready for my son's dance performance, so I didn't have time for them. But as I was focusing on filming, Cody approached, disturbing my concentration.
"Man, I've been a handsome guy since middle school. Always had girls crying over me. Being the heartbreaker was tough."
Claiming to have made girls cry, probably because they were annoyed and upset.
"I ended up marrying Natalie because we had a kid, but imagine all the world's women missing out on me. What a tragedy."
That sounded more like a deluded comedy.
"And you're a pretty attractive woman,"
he said, ogling me in a way that sent shivers down my spine. Because of him, My focus on filming was disrupted, and I missed crucial moments. Just when I was getting frustrated, Cody noticed Natalie approaching and quickly left me alone. I wish he had disappeared sooner, but it was too late. The dance was over. Sorry, Spencer. I'll make it up during the next race. I was determined to capture the race perfectly, but again, Cody approached me at the worst moment. Looking up to the heavens in frustration, he continued.
I was known as a lady killer, but also feared by men. Can't count how many guys I've beaten up. They used to call me Lucifer.
Lucifer? What, like a fallen angel?
Let's date in secret, behind Natalie's back.
Are you kidding me? Who would date someone like you? Just go away and stop interfering with my filming. I was at a loss, not knowing how to react or express my anger when Natalie appeared. What are you doing? Hitting on Michelle, you pervert? To my dismay, they started arguing right in front of me. I couldn't focus on filming anymore. Just got caught up in their ridiculous fight. Meanwhile, my son crossed the finish line first, but I couldn't capture his victorious moment on camera. Sorry, Spencer. I was dumbfounded by this unbelievable outcome. That evening, when Spencer came home excited to see our son's performance, I had to break the unfortunate news. As Spencer slumped in disappointment, I detailed the whole incident. He was shocked at such unreasonable behavior and comforted me, saying I did well under the circumstances.
It's best to avoid that weird couple. It's unfortunate for the kids, but we need to keep our distance.
Spencer's words gave me strength. Facing those two alone made me question my sanity. They were that intense. About a half a month later, while out with my family, we unexpectedly ran into Natalie and Cody. Spotting us, Natalie called out, "Hey girls, are you guys out too? Oh, perfect. How about we all have dinner together?" Reluctantly, we agreed to her forceful invitation and went to a nearby family restaurant. Spencer asked in a whisper if these two are the same old weirdo couple. I regretted it so much that I should have simply refused. But when I saw how happy our two children were to have dinner together, I couldn't bring myself to say goodbye. As soon as they entered the family restaurant, the two of them started ordering, but they only ordered the most expensive items on the menu. Since it's a family restaurant, the prices aren't that high, but I mainly order good items. That is, items that are expensive. They devoured their food like starved children, even though their manners were far better. After eating a bit, they started their usual baseless boasting. It began with Spencer mentioning his interest in cars.
Yeah, I love cars too, but back in the day, it was all about motorcycles for me. My gang buddies used to call me Ghost Rider.
Natalie added, "Cody was so cool back then. He fit the cool guy image perfectly."
Yeah, the highways we rode together were awesome. We made chips look like nothing.
Wait, weren't you Lucifer? Now you're Ghost Rider? As I forced a smile, he continued, mistaking my fear for awe.
Yeah, I was wild when I was younger. Even got this tattoo.
He rolled up his sleeve to show a tattoo of a dragon, which was actually quite small. I tried to get a closer look. He quickly pulled his sleeve back down. The rest of the meal was filled with their boasting of supposed heroic deeds, and my husband and I felt forced to listen. When it was time to pay, Natalie said, "Since you invited us and we came on the spot, we don't have any money on us. You'll have to pay today. Thanks." Cody added,
"Thanks for the treat."
And they both quickly left with their child, leaving us stunned. Weren't they the ones who invited us?
Exactly as you said, Michelle. They're even more intense than I expected.
Spencer commented.
And that tattoo must be a sticker. It was peeling and shifting.
I know, right? They're always so exhausting. I can't even find the words to respond. It's like constant machine gun talk. I've even started rehearsing comebacks in my head. Our son enjoyed the meal, but we hardly felt like we ate, and ended up making noodles at home for a late-night snack. We agreed to avoid those two as much as possible, but fate would have us cross paths with them again. One day, we were on our way to my parents' house when we heard a loud crash. Looking up, we saw a car had rear-ended another. We rushed to the scene to check for injuries, ready to provide first aid and call emergency services if needed. To our surprise, it was Natalie and Cody, who had stepped out in front of the offending vehicle. Cody looked dazed, coming out of the driver's seat. and Natalie stumbled out of the passenger side. Fortunately, they didn't seem injured.
What the hell? Parking your car here? Causing me to hit it?
Cody started yelling, blaming the parked car. 3 men then emerged from a nearby building.
What was that noise? It was incredibly loud.
Seeing their car damaged, they were furious.
Who's the idiot who did this?
Angry men. Their demeanor was clearly not that of ordinary people, hinting at something more sinister.
Is this some kind of sabotage against our organization?
One of the men suggested, glaring at Cody, who was now visibly shaking, and on the verge of tears. Natalie was also trembling with fear. As the men advanced on Cody, he blurted out the unthinkable.
They did it. We were just passing by.
He tried to pin the blame on us, who were completely uninvolved. The men turned their sharp glares on us.
It's him. He was driving and crashed into you.
I was about to lose my patience, but Spencer reached his limit first. In an uncharacteristically angry tone, he addressed the men, not Cody.
Hey, how's it going?
Cody and Natalie were speechless, and the men responded to Spencer with respect.
Spencer, long time no see.
They greeted with deep bows.
Enough of this noise in front of our office.
Another man, evidently the boss, shouted as he came out.
You idiot. I told you to call me Vice President.
The man noticed us.
Spencer, Michelle, what are you doing here?
It turned out he was my brother, Carl. After hearing the situation from the earlier men, Carl, with a face full of anger, confronted Cody.
What kind of sense is that, blaming others for the crime you committed? And it's Spencer and Michelle, no less.
The two were shaking, unable to comprehend what was happening.
Besides, Spencer doesn't even have a driver's license. How could he be involved in an accident?
Indeed, Spencer doesn't have a license yet. He just started attending driving school and is about to get his learner's permit.
Oh man, this car is worth $15 million. Who knows how much the repairs will cost? You'll be held fully responsible.
Cody, hearing this, started crying, saying he had no money. When Carl pressed about the insurance, Cody and Natalie admitted they didn't have any because they couldn't afford to renew it.
Help us, please, if you have influence over these people.
Spencer and I had no intention of helping someone who shifts blame onto others, but we did clarify our situation. This office is my family's home. Yes, my family is involved in the mafia. As a child, when our family business became known, I was ostracized and looked down upon, but Spencer, a childhood friend, came to my aid. Spencer, working in a consultancy, had been instrumental in reorganizing my father's organization into a legitimate company. Originally, my father's organization valued the local community, but it underwent reforms to clear misunderstandings and gain societal acceptance. Spencer, who worked tirelessly for this transformation, gained immense trust and respect from the members, or rather employees, and became known as a brotherly figure. Spencer, admired by my brother Carl and the employees since childhood, became a respected figure in the organization after marrying me, the daughter of the boss. Cody quit his job. That's why he has no money. We gave him a job opportunity, but he ran away in just 3 days. Cody was shocked at my revelation. I run a recruitment agency, leading a new project aimed at finding suitable jobs for those who are struggling to find work. Cody had quickly quit the job we arranged for him. Then my father spoke.
With that attitude, you'll never be able to pay for the car damage. Let's find you a proper job.
Cody and Natalie, overwhelmed by my father's authoritative presence, broke down in tears. Later, Cody was employed by our organization, or rather our company, starting at the very bottom. Natalie also ended up working long hours at a related factory. Concerns arose around their child, but my father's daycare took care of him while his parents worked. My father runs the daycare as part of his social contribution efforts. The repair cost for the luxury car was hefty, and it would take years of hard work to cover it. My father intended to use this time to reform Cody's character. With the troublesome couple out of the picture, our lives returned to peace.
Still, I wonder if that guy's character can really be reformed.
Spencer said this while driving. He had recently passed his driving test and obtained his license. If Dad's guidance can't do it, nothing can, but only if he can.
I better focus on driving. Wouldn't want to cause a rear-end collision.
Just then, our son said he was hungry, so we pulled into a drive-thru at a nearby hamburger restaurant. Watching our son happily eat his hamburger, I savored the happiness of our current life.